That looks great, Tenren. Anytime you're ready then.
Okay, great. Well, first, thank you so much, Judith. It's always a pleasure to work with you and a huge pleasure to get the chance to work with California community colleges and all of the efforts that are afoot for ZTC pathways and degree programs. So we at Creative Commons really love the opportunity to do just this, to talk a little bit about what we can offer you all and what who we are, basically. So for those of you who are not familiar with Creative Commons, we are a global nonprofit. We've been around for over 20 years, and we're best known for our licenses. We have the global standard for open licenses that have been shared across over 2.5 billion works across 9 million websites to date. And beyond our licenses, we offer a range of services, capacity building efforts, policy work, and community networking that that really engages us around the world. So we're here because we believe access and sharing of knowledge and culture are essential to sustaining our vibrant and thriving societies. We do this in the public interest, and we really want to make the work that you all are doing in California as easy and as wonderful as possible. So hopefully something here in this presentation will spark some interest, and I would love to use this as just the starting point for ongoing conversations and collaborations and more. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or if you want to just learn more. I have my email at the end of this. Okay, so as mentioned, we are best known for our CC licenses. These are the global standard of open licenses, and they are universal, interoperable, and irrevocable. So that means when you apply a CC license to a work, that license or the permissions that you are offering to the public last as long as the duration of copyright over that work. So in the US, copyright lasts the length of an author plus an additional 70 years. And that's the duration of the CC license permissions applied. So we have 6 different licenses and 2 public domain tools. I am not going to get into all the details here. Just suffice it to say that there is likely a license or public domain tool there for any of your purposes or needs. And the best way to figure out what license would meet your needs would be to go to our CC license chooser. So the URL is there in the bottom of the slide, and I'm happy to share these slides afterwards. And this is a really simple tool to just run through a few questions and determine how you want to share your creative work. So it will ask you if you want to share your work for others to make commercial gain or not, if you want to share your work so that others can make adaptations, and if so, on what terms. So please do take some time when you can to explore our CC license chooser, and know that there are benefits and perhaps limitations to each license depending on your vantage point. So really, hopefully there's something there for everybody. Okay, in addition to our CC licenses, we also host a range of capacity building efforts, as well as networking and the policy and advocacy work that I mentioned before. So first, our capacity building. We have the CC certificate courses, which are probably our best known capacity building efforts. These are 10-week online courses that train people in open licensing, in copyright, in fair use, limitations and exceptions to copyright, and then ways to work with CC licenses to reuse other CC licensed works and to better engage in our shared commons for open education, for access, for improving access to cultural heritage, and so on. So our courses are run 3 times a year. We offer them every January, June, and September. They are all asynchronous, except we do offer synchronous webinars with copyright lawyers and with open advocates from a range of fields, whether it's accessibility considerations with OER or cultural heritage considerations and indigenous knowledge rights, or otherwise. We love offering these one-on-one or special Q&A webinars with our experts. So please do consider taking a CC certificate course. We also offer these as 1-week in-person or virtual boot camps, or kind of condensed versions of our 10-week course. So they're intense. It's a good 40 hours of work that week, but well worth it. So we've actually run 2 boot camps for California community colleges so far, with the ultimate goal of hopefully someday having all California community colleges have one CC certified expert on hand that can start to answer questions about copyright considerations with CC licenses and some of the kind of nuts and bolts, nitty-gritty details of developing and implementing the ZTC efforts. So from our certificate courses, we've seen graduates be able to create master's courses, create entirely derivative OER courses as a result for undergrads or for the public online, to creating faculty workshops, to even creating a Creative Commons bot or AI kind of quiz option. So you can go in and just ask the bot anything about copyright and Creative Commons licensing that we have in our courses, and have the bot answer. So lots of very interesting creative projects have emerged from our course in general. But more than that, we love seeing the network that emerges. So very often people come into the course feeling alone, feeling like they're the only person working on open education or the only advocate in their institution, but they emerge with this global network of friends, and they are able to share stories, share resources, and stay in touch. So we've had people say that they've made lifelong friendships with people around the world from these courses. So in addition to the 10-week online course or the 1-week in-person or virtual bootcamp, we also offer custom trainings, and these are up to an institution's needs. So they range from a 4-hour workshop to a 2 or 3-day workshop. It really depends on what the needs are of the group or institution requesting the training. So we can certainly make something that meets your needs. Custom trainings do not result in a CC certification, but they are often very useful for folks who don't have maybe 10 weeks to commit to a deep dive in CC licensing. In addition to that, we also have a lot of consulting that we do with institutions that are either looking at developing an open licensing policy or implementing an open licensing policy, or some of the considerations around communications for that, and so on. We also offer monthly legal office hours. So this is actually a really wonderful opportunity for anyone in the world to have a direct line of communication and a chance to ask questions to a copyright lawyer without paying lawyer fees. So please do take a look at that on our website and take advantage whenever you can. Our general counsel is actually in California, so I am going to just assume that the hours will work for hopefully most of you. Okay, in addition to our capacity building and so on, we also have been developing a number of different partnerships. So I'm really delighted to say that because of our partnership with MEC, or the Midwest Higher Education Compact, that kind of oversees or kind of coordinates all of the other education compacts, we can now offer a 15% discount to most colleges in the US. So if anybody is interested in getting that MEC discount for the CC certificate online courses, I'm happy to give it to you. So please just email me after this, and I'd be glad to share information on that. In addition to our MEC partnership, we also launched a partnership with the University of Nebraska at Omaha recently, which will result in a new derivative of the CC certificate course, a micro-credential that UNO will be offering. And this is a wonderful example of the kinds of things that can emerge from our CC certificate courses. All of our content is open licensed, obviously, and we really encourage people to take advantage of the resources. We want to see more people making derivatives of the course, more language translations, more opportunities to really meet their community's needs and their learners' needs. So the UNO partnership is one great foray into that. And what we hope is that after it launches, I think it's July 1st, we will be able to iterate on that and see how this kind of partnership model can work with other institution. So if any of you are interested in exploring a partnership to create and offer a derivative of our course content, please contact me. I will note we have a forthcoming micro-credential with Library Juice Academy as well. That's another partnership, and that will likely be launched in the fall. And then, last but not least, we have partnered with the California Virtual Campus for community colleges. So I will leave it to them to relay the lovely opportunity that they're affording. But we know that there will be an increased number of options for subsidized CC certificate course seats in the coming year. So we would love to either partner with you or have you take advantage of some of the partnerships that are already in place. And then finally, we have a really wonderful global network. So we have, as I mentioned earlier, a network of lawyers and of open access advocates, open education advocates, and more. I get to manage our open education platform or community group that gets together quarterly to look at updates, to share information, and then also to work on select funded open education activities. So if anybody is interested in joining our network or joining the open education efforts in particular, we would welcome you. It's free. All right, I'm trying to think if there's anything I missed. I could go on and on about our different options here, but please do contact me if anybody is interested at your institution, or if you're interested in a course, in some consulting, legal office hours, a partnership, or just joining our network. We would welcome it. Okay, last but not least, you can contact us at learning@creativecommons.org, and I'm happy to, if I can't answer the questions, or if my colleague can't answer the questions, defer you to someone else at CC. We have the Creative Commons website that's got all the information that you could possibly want and more. And then we've got the CC certificate program website as well. So that's where you can find the FAQ, the registration, all of the OER that is involved in the course, a list of alumni, and so much more. Finally, I just want to say thanks again to Judith, and thanks to College of the Canyons for this opportunity to connect with everyone. So this is really a pleasure. We can't wait to see where our collaborations go next with California community colleges, and I will stop there. Thank you.
Deborah, thank you so much. And I'm so glad that you mentioned the California Virtual College and @ONE. I'm going to look forward to their announcement because I've gotten a little preview before, and I think that our community colleges in California are going to be very excited about the news. We offer our professional development courses through the TAP professional development courses through California Virtual College, and they're @ONE professional development. So we have a really nice partnership with them, and I'm excited that they're going to partner with Creative Commons for some more support and resources. Thanks, Jenren. Well, then let me turn it over to Barb to talk a little bit about her organization.
Fabulous. Yes, my name is Barb. I am the Director of Community Engagement at the Open Education Network, and I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for this opportunity, and it's really great to learn more about the work that you all are doing with your zero textbook cost program. So cheering you on from the sidelines. All right, so a little bit, I'm going to start today to talk about the programs that the Open Education Network offers kind of more broadly to the open education community. And then I'm going to transition into talking about the Open Education Network community and membership, if that's something that you are interested in. So to begin, the OEN offers a number of different openly available tools and resources to support the work that you're doing, which I've outlined a couple of them here, and you can find them on our website, which you can see in the bottom right-hand corner. But many of you are hopefully familiar with the Open Textbook Library. This is something that the Open Education Network manages, and it's a really great resource for finding open textbooks. We've got nearly 1,500 textbooks and counting at the moment, so definitely a great resource to share with your faculty members who are searching for content. We also are really excited, if you've got faculty that are excited to jump into the open pedagogy side of things, we rolled out 2 really great resources this past year that were put together by our community members in collaboration with the OEN team. The Open Pedagogy Portal, which is a place kind of similarly searchable to the open textbook library, but a place to find case studies and examples of renewable assignments and ways in which other institutions and faculty members are using or integrating open pedagogy into their courses. And that's searchable by discipline. So something to point your faculty members to if they're looking to integrate more of those practices. And we also have co-created the Open Pedagogy Student Toolkit in collaboration with our community, which is a great kind of add-on in terms of how faculty can work with students and point students to that resource to learn about what open pedagogy is, their rights as student co-creators, et cetera. And then in terms of if you have faculty members who are looking to publish open textbooks or OER, we offer an OER publishing toolkit and have also co-created an authoring guide and editing guide with our community members. So those are some resources that either you might find useful yourself or are really great to point faculty to. We also offer 2 certificate programs that are professional development based, but kind of action oriented. So these are open to anybody, regardless of membership or not in the OEN community. The first is our certificate in open education librarianship. And this is an 8-month-long certificate program that is led by presenters from within our community who are experts in things like open licensing, open textbook publishing, that kind of thing. So it offers a really strong foundation and base in open education librarianship. And then throughout the course of the program, you are creating an OER action plan for your institution under kind of the mentorship of one of our community presenters, as well as a smaller cohort within the certificate program. So it's a really great opportunity to connect with others who are looking to create an action plan at their own campus and kind of leave the program with those connections, as well as this roadmap of kind of where to take your open education initiatives in the coming years. The other certificate is our certificate in open educational practices. This is a year-long program that a pair moves through together. So a pair of faculty member and librarian or instructional designer, for example. And this is another one where it kind of starts with professional development around open educational practices and then transitions into a more project-based experience. Kind of you're working on this in collaboration with the others in the cohort to put together a plan for implementing open educational practices in a particular course that the goal is to then have the faculty member roll that out kind of at the end of the certificate experience. So definitely keep those, if you're looking for some sort of more formal professional development to move through, or your faculty are looking for more support in integrating open educational practices, these could be 2 great opportunities to keep in mind. Okay, so transitioning from, things that you can right now participate in to considering membership in the OEN community. This is institutions can join the OEN at an annual rate. We've got it outlined here and the link to the join page in the bottom right-hand corner. And the benefits of joining our community are just the people, kind of Jenren mentioned this, as we know, these like circles of support are so imperative to the work that we do, especially when you all might be the only one working on open ed or in a small team at your institution. So the benefit of joining our community really is that access to this collection of colleagues around the world who are just as kind of in the weeds with open education as you are. We have a number of proven faculty engagement strategies that we train you in on and provide the tools and materials for you to use and implement that at your campuses. Members also have access to our data dashboard, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a bit. And there are, while there is a cost to membership, it does come along with some financial savings that can be beneficial to you and help kind of offset that cost of membership. So to begin by kind of grounding in who is this community? We have over 1,800 institutions represented through our just member institutions, as well as the consortia and regional systems that are a part of our community, predominantly in the US, but all over the world. And each year, I'm sharing this word cloud on the slide here. We do, every 2 years, sorry, we do a community scan where we ask our community members to describe the Open Education Network and what it means to them in 3 words. And so these are some of the words that come up regularly when our community is referring to kind of what they receive from one another: support, openness, welcoming, sharing. I'd say it's definitely a reflection of the broader open education field. And it's just, again, really, I like to ground the conversation and membership in this great supportive community that you get to be a part of. To dive into more specifics of what that community interaction looks like, we have a Google Group Community of Practice, which is a listserv that you are a part of. This is our space where our community really connects with one another. We share questions so that you don't need to be reinventing the wheel. We've got a lot of institutions and state systems who are leading Z degree programs. So needless to say, there would be lots of folks for you to lean on specifically with that initiative. And it's also kind of the space where folks share professional development opportunities with one another. They announce textbooks that their faculty have authored. And so it's a great way to have kind of your finger on the pulse and feel supported by that broader network. We also offer the Colleague Connector program, which is one of my favorites. That's where you can sign up to be paired in a group of 2 or 3 with another community member to just meet monthly. We send out conversation prompts, and it's just a chance to build that connection, like a sounding board with someone else in the field, to kind of learn what the context looks like at their institution and ideate together. And we've gotten really great feedback on having that kind of lack of outcomes-based way of relating to others in the field. And then we offer a number of different regular professional development events, including our annual OEN Engage week of events in the summer. It's a great chance for everyone to come together and network. And we also provide training on some of the main kind of materials that we offer to our community members, including our OEN workshops. So if you check out our website, you can see these materials and presentations right on there. They're open and readily available for you to use. We offer workshops that you can engage faculty with OER adoption, engage them around the theme of open pedagogy or OER publishing. They're all a little bit nuanced and different. And a common thread is that there's kind of this introduction factor, this learning side of things for faculty, and it's paired with an action item. So for example, for the Intro to OER Adoption workshop, the main action item is to then invite faculty to review a textbook in the Open Textbook Library after they've participated in the workshop. And when we were collecting data on that, 60% of faculty members who participated in the workshop and reviewed a textbook then indicated that they plan to adopt OER for their course. So we've got also a community of folks who have been delivering these workshops for many years. And so a very supportive community around helping you implement these things at your institution. Members also have access to our data dashboard. This is a key part of that Intro to OER Adoption workshop. So the data dashboard is a platform that helps you collect and organize data around your open education initiatives, as well as the faculty that you're engaging in those initiatives. It can also be used kind of as an email campaign creator, where you can then again invite faculty to review a textbook or check in with them, asking them to update you on any OER that they've adopted for their course and any corresponding enrollment numbers. And then, by collecting all of this data in your dashboard, you then have the ability to have all of the information in one place to kind of track your impact and use the reporting function for your own annual reporting and advocacy on campus. All right, and just to kind of dig a little deeper into some of the other supports that we offer members, particularly related to publishing, we have a course that you can move through that we call Pub 101. So if you're not necessarily at the point where you're offering that as an institution, it can be a great place to start in terms of like considering if that would be a good option for you. And or if you're kind of already there, it's a great way to talk out what you're experiencing with fellow community members and kind of learn best practices, share with one another. As a member, our members also have access to our pilot programs. Right now, we've got 2 going with Manifold, which is a platform that you can use to kind of create your own collections of OER, or also use it as a space to point students to. We've got a number of different ways in which our community members are leveraging that tool. And then an open textbook builder is another tool that we're working on with a pilot group at the moment, in hopes that we're going to roll that out within the next year. And then finally, speaking of Pressbooks and Reubus, you'll hear more about that. We offer a Pressbooks discount to our membership. And you can see that outlined here, 30% off the enterprise plan, or a complimentary year of another one of their plans. So that's one of the ways in which you can kind of leverage your membership for additional discounts to support your open education work. And I will leave it at that. I know we're going to have time for questions at the end, but you can see my email address on here. And I, just as Jenren mentioned, if you want to reach out or are curious about anything that I mentioned today, I'm more than happy to set up a meeting and discuss kind of how membership could benefit the work that you're doing and your institution.
Barb, thank you so much. I hope our attendees are getting a sense of the incredibly robust types of support that these organizations and the others that we have featured in our previous external service provider webinars are offering the colleges. You know, you all are not alone in developing these ZTC degrees, not by a long shot. And so I truly appreciate this. And I'm going to turn it over to Apurva to talk about Reubus Foundation. There's been a couple of questions, one that came through for you, Jenren, and we've got one that has come through for you, Barb. So you all can either answer in chat as Apurva presents, or we could answer them later on. So Apurva, let me turn it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Judith. Thanks, Barb and Jenren, for telling us all about Creative Commons and OEN. And you'll see how a lot of our organizations and our work really complements each other. I'm going to share a link to my slides in a moment, and Judith will pass it on and put it on the website for anyone to access afterwards. I just want to start off by saying my name is Apurva Ashok. I'm the executive director of the Reubus Foundation. And for those of you who might need it, we do have captioning and transcription turned on for this session. So you can just hover over your Zoom screen and access those features if you require it. I'll tell you a little bit about the Reubus Foundation. I'll talk to you today about 2 of our flagship programs, the Textbook Success Program and the OER webinar series. And I'll also offer a long list of free community resources that Reubus has developed that you can walk away with and start using immediately if you'd like to. And then I'll pass it over to Judith for questions. So to start off, I just want to take a moment and let you know where I'm joining you from. I am an immigrant settler from India, and I'm joining you today from Toronto, or you might know it as Toronto. I'm located on the traditional territories of the Mississaugas of the First Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. I have been living here for almost 5 years now, and I'm very grateful for the privilege to live on this land, to play here, to learn here, and to zoom in and meet all of you and do good work in your lands, in your regions. And I will encourage you, if you've never heard a territorial acknowledgement before, to spend some time with these resources on this slide to learn about the communities in your regions and how you as an educator can help make change in your cities and within the state. For me, this particular acknowledgement and declaration is just one step in my own commitment to reconciliation work and decolonization work. And I hope to continue to work on decolonizing in my practice through Reubus. And actually, this is a view of the park that's a block away from me. So I'm really hoping that you get a sense of what Toronto is like in the summers. For those of you who don't know about Reubus, we are a nonprofit organization and Canadian registered charity that focuses on education. So simply put, we offer publisher support and professional development for collaborative open education projects, and our work is entirely mission driven. So we have goals to center the student experience and student learning throughout the process, as well as in final deliverables So whatever OER you create, be it a textbook, some kind of supplementary material, or some fun interactive element or media file, we really want to help you make sure that the student is seen and reflected and prioritized in that output. But along the way, we also want to grow the movement of inclusive leaders like yourself, people who are using OER in transformative ways. And I believe, I have a slide further on that tells you, it gives you a sense of the number of different people that we've worked with. At the end of the day, we really want to work towards a future where communities are leveraging education for positive change. We've worked with more than 100 partners across the US and Canada on several different projects. You'll see the OEN featured here. You saw the Creative Commons logo further up on my introductory slide. These partners include large state systems like the University System of Maryland, or compacts, the Midwestern Higher Education Compact, the Louisiana Library Network. We also have a lot of experience working with state boards of education, like the Idaho State Board of Education. And really, we want to culminate all of the lessons and knowledge learned from working with these incredible collaborators and pass that on to you. So some of the ways in which we're really hoping to help you is by offering professional development specifically for OER creation and publishing support, and helping all of you align your OER with sound pedagogical practices. Much like Barb mentioned, Reubus wouldn't be who we are today without the network and the community of practice that we have. And we really want to welcome you to be a part of this and to use the skills that you're learning through our programs and in the networks that you'll be participating in to build capacity to keep doing this work across your college, your university, or across the state. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that you're fostering your student success, but we're also fostering you all as OER champions. So I'll tell you a little bit about one of our flagship programs called the Textbook Success Program. And before I go into this, I will say this is a bit of a misnomer. When I use the word textbook, replace it in your head with just OER. And this could be a textbook or learning material that you're authoring from scratch. It could be a resource that you are remixing and adapting if you're drawing on pre-existing materials from the Open Textbook Library, for instance, and using the CC licenses to remix and revise for your classroom demographic. The Textbook Success Program, in a nutshell, is a one-year professional development course that equips all kinds of educators to make great open educational resources. This is a program that is really designed for folks in all roles across the post-secondary system, from faculty to librarians to administrators to technologists and curriculum developers. We've worked with numerous open textbook projects in our experience, and really we've learned that the most powerful tool to make great OER is to work in community and to work in collaboration with one another. So that's why we built the Textbook Success Program with community, collaboration, and engagement in mind. We've supported, I would say, over 120 different projects since this program launched in 2019. And I think we just launched cohort number 24 this June. So it's quite a large group of people that you can tap into and whose expertise you can use when creating your own resources. The program itself is led by alumni, so folks who have been where you might be right now, folks who have successfully managed projects and published OER. The TSP graduates really have firsthand experience of how to leverage the openly licensed curriculum and set your projects up for success. So some of these lovely individuals you see on the screen here are teachers, they are faculty members or adjuncts, some of them are librarians, some of them are instructional designers, and each of them brings their own perspective to shape the program curriculum, to share relevant examples with the cohorts that might be participating in the program, and really to strengthen connections across the group. So these are folks located, and I'm looking at this lineup of people here. I think nearly everyone is based in the US. We have a couple of them who are based near me in Canada. The alumni are really emerging leaders in open education who want to remain connected to the community and support new communities of practice. So the publishing process itself, as I'm describing it, is really something that is cyclical. When I talk about creating textbooks, I am talking about creating learning materials that at the end of the day are going to foster equitable student learning. And the program is really embedded with a number of primers and prompts for you to consider at each step along the publishing journey, what you could be doing to make sure that your OER really are supporting students. The program, like I said, is meant not only to help you make good OER, but we see a few different layers to it. And there's a lot of text on this slide, but I like to think about it as 3 parts. At the end of the day, you're going to get great workflows and tools for producing your open educational resources. You are going to build capacity across your institution as you work in teams of anywhere from 4 or more individuals. Librarians, curriculum designers, instructional designers, technologists, and more. And 3, the program is really going to encourage you all to reflect on your own practice. So hopefully you're going to see some personal and professional growth on your own as an individual participating in this program as well. We really hope that the open approaches and tools that you develop and cultivate through this program will help you keep sustaining this work over the longer term. So really, while the program can help you with your immediate publishing efforts, we hope that the principles and the philosophy that you pick up and you practice within the cohort and the network is something that you can hold on to for many, many years to come as you continue practicing as an educator. The program itself has 3 phases. So you have some time to plan and scope, you have some time to write and edit, and then you have a lot of time to think about the technical pieces of it, production and release. And I'm seeing some technical folks on the call today, and I'm hoping they will appreciate the time that we've set aside in our program to really think about the tools that students will be using to access the OER that you'll be creating. I will say everything that we do at Reubus with our programming is openly licensed. So this particular open educational resource is the basis of this textbook success program, the Reubus Guide to Publishing Open Textbooks, and is really something that you can use right away if you wanted to. If you don't want to commit to the 12 months of programming and you wanted to dive right in, feel free to use the Reubus Guide to inform your publishing work. And I just wanted to pull in some reviews from folks who have done this program, so you're not just taking my word for the fact that this is a really fun and useful course, but it really is something that you can use for your own learning and to build your institution's capacity to do this work. So Liza says, when I started the TSB, I didn't know much about curating and using a book, but by the end of the program, I was able to produce and pilot a modular first-year textbook. But the textbook itself was invaluable to my teaching and has helped shape my thinking about pedagogy. So we really hope that you'll walk away with more than just that final OER. If you are curious about the program and you want to learn more about it, there's a link to a little form where you can schedule a consultation. And if 12 months of commitment is too long for you, and it can be for so many of us who are juggling several different projects at the same time, Reubus also offers a shorter webinar series. So this is, a package of anywhere from 3 to 5 60-minute webinars that you might want to host at your institution to introduce folks to open education, open pedagogy, universal design for learning, or some of the other topics that you see on this screen here. you'll see that, the webinar series is really low touch. It is easy for you to put together, but can be a really helpful funnel for someone who is relatively new to open education and OER work, and really gets their curiosity going. It offers them just enough information where they might want to come back in a few months and find out other ways that they can participate and do more. And I will say, Rebus is a charity. Everything that we do is, whether it's paid programs and services, is always balanced with free community resources, because we don't believe that knowledge is something that should be gatekept. It is something that is for community and by community. And so we have a number of openly licensed guides. These 3 on the screen are about co-creating OER with students, about creating OER with equity in mind, and reporting the impact of OER beyond just cost savings. We know the tremendous impact open education can have on all of our students and the communities, the education systems that we work in. So these are 3 guides that you can access and use right away. We also have a community forum where folks can jump in to post calls for collaboration, to share news about projects, to discuss topics with open educators in the community. It's a free public discussion space that anyone can access and use. We also have a monthly newsletter where you can sign up, and I've linked to the newsletter archive so you can see the backlog of issues that are available there. And it's a chance for you to learn about new events in the field, new OER, or just celebrate your work. There's also case studies that we've collected and curated from folks within the community and put together in the form of Reubus Community reports or the starter kit for program managers. So really, whatever topic you might want to dive into, you can use the free resources to learn more about. And lastly, I will just say we have, a lovely archive of videos that you might be able to access that we put together in collaboration with the Open Education Network. So Barb, I know, was a big part of the OER Office Hours series, and I believe there's almost 60 videos on YouTube that you can dive into and learn, and really learn from experts who have spent a lot of time, whether it's with trauma-informed pedagogy or specific open publishing tools that you want to learn more about. And if none of this seems to fit, if none of this seems like it is what you need, Rebus prides itself on being responsive. So I would just say, get in touch with us. And if we're the right folks to work with you on whatever your specific needs are, we will do our best. And if not, we will try to connect you with another organization in the open ed ecosystem so that you can really get the robust support that you need to keep doing good work. So thank you for your time, and I'll pass it back to Judith.
Apurva, thank you so much. I hope that our attendees are as inspired as I am by this. I'm hearing these words: community, transformation, collaboration, networking. These 3 organizations embody these. I mean, you truly embody collaboration. Notice how they refer to each other and their work in organizations. You truly embody and model that collaborative spirit within this field of open education. And I think back to when I started working in open education myself way back in 2013, and how far we've come with the development of your organizations and the support and services that you offer. And then look at California. We have a state investment of $115 million into textbook affordability for community college students, which inevitably is going to have a domino effect and spill over into the 4-year institutions in California and beyond. And increasingly, students are going to be expecting that they will have affordability for their college educations. It's just so inspiring. I should shut up, though, and let any other questions come through either in the chat, or feel free to unmute yourself for those who are with us. It's a small group, so please feel free to. Or maybe our 3 presenters had questions for each other, or some comments or observations on each other's presentations. We've got about 10 minutes, so feel free. I'll shut up.
I loved hearing the other presentations too. I know we're in conversations with OEN already on ways that we can collaborate, and we are always, very receptive to collaborating with Reubus, of course. And yeah, it just seems like a lot of the things that we're offering are actually very complementary. I think it is true. This is a wonderful community. So if there is anything that we can do to help others, great. But also I would be very open to keeping this communication alive and seeing how we can collaborate together.
I just heard from a faculty member, this is in chat, who had a summer student ask where the link to their textbook was. That section has a traditional textbook. So I like that students at my small college are finally going to do some grassroots pressure. Oh, I love that. And I think that's going to increase. I truly do. And the TAP program that I serve as the project manager for is actually working with someone who is well connected within both the UC and the CSU systems. And is working to engage in advocacy with those systems to make sure that they're aware that there is a generation of students who are coming up, who are transferring potentially to the four-year institutions that are going to have expectations that perhaps have not been there before. And it's going to be potentially a tidal wave, kind of would be my prediction. And the UC and the CSU systems probably need to prepare for that. And I'm sure they're aware. And it's not that they're not already doing some amazing work within open education within those systems. So I think they're aware and are going to do whatever they can to prepare themselves for these exact expectations that were expressed here in the chat. Oh, good. Yes, we have a question from, yes, go ahead, from our same chat.
Yeah, sorry. So I've looked up a couple of these organizations before, but some of them are new, and it sounds like most of them are, well, at least the Reubus and the OEN have membership fees. And no, I'm getting a no.
Well, Reubus doesn't have membership fees. The two programs I shared, the TSP and the webinar series, are paid programs, but we don't have a membership fee, and I don't think we ever.
Okay, so that is good to know. But the OEN did, and I know LibreText is moving towards that. And so I'm just curious if people have. It's just like pulling teeth to get $500 from my administrators, and so it's going to be hard to say I need $500 to be a member of LibreVerse, and I need $500 to be a member of OEN, and I need $500 to be a member of the CCC OER. So does anyone have ideas about that?
One thing, I'll just go ahead and jump in. This is a great question and a great point. And we know that often community colleges, particularly small ones, are under-resourced. It is my understanding, and Jennifer's put some, Jennifer, great you're here from LibreText. They were featured in an earlier webinar that we had. So Jennifer, thank you for joining us today and for commenting on that. One phase or a couple of phases of the ZTC grant programs are already passed. However, there are upcoming opportunities to apply for additional funds. And I do believe that within those, that there are ways that you can build in some of these costs. Now, I recognize that that won't necessarily help you in the long term, but there are some ways I believe that you can build in some costs for some of the supports within those grant programs. And I'm going to pop that link back into the chat for the upcoming grant opportunities that are available for the funds that are still out there for the ZTC grant program. But Apurva, go ahead, and I'll let our organizations respond to this.
Oh, I was just going to say this is an excellent question and something we think about all of the time, because everyone is working with smaller and smaller budgets every year, it feels like. And I would just say, take your time, firstly, because I know there are a lot of different providers that you're hearing from over these past few weeks. And there's a lot of information that each of us are sharing with you. So take a moment to sort of reflect on what we offer, and really, be selfish in your decision making, and be selfish in your assessment of your own needs, whether it's your needs for your unit or your department or for your institution. I hope this particular session has shown you that the organizations that you choose to work with in the open world are very collaborative. So if you choose to work with Creative Commons or the Open Education Network or LibreText or Rebus or Pressbooks, we are so connected to each other in different ways. You might not get the benefits of working with every single organization immediately, but you might get your most immediate priorities and needs met. And there is hopefully in that, process going to be some proof of concept for the government and for the administrators and the legislation that is funding this work to give you hopefully a larger and larger line item each time. As I said earlier, we don't have a membership fee at Rebus. Everything that we do is published under a Creative Commons attribution license. So we believe in balancing, free access to our materials and as well as some paid programming to dive a little deeper and to build some of those connections and have some more guided support through that work. So you could go the self-serve route for free, or you could go a paid route if that is what you should choose to do, with no hard feelings if you don't. Chandra and Barb, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I really appreciate how you said that, Apurva, and I think Jennifer kind of said that in the chat as well. The OEN is the same. We definitely have the membership fees for those who want to dive deeper, are completely understanding of how funding is drying up across higher ed. The OEN is actually part of the University of Minnesota, so we're very close to those issues as well. And I do want to point out that we also offer a number of readily available resources on our website. And I think along the lines of kind of maybe figuring out what's best for you, I would love to have a meeting and just kind of learn more about where you're at with your initiatives. And then if we can best serve you or maybe redirect you to some of our colleagues here. Another piece of that is that the focus of the OEN, we have guiding principles, one of which is shared abundance. And right now, kind of the focus of this year to come is figuring out how best we can leverage the expertise and knowledge of our community to better serve those that are unable to pay for membership in the OEN. So even if you're like, oh, the odds of us, joining the OEN are slim, I would still welcome a conversation just so I can point you to some of the more openly available resources and hear more of your feedback along the lines of what you're saying as we kind of consider these pieces and figure out how we can serve institutions like yours that might not be able to join our community.
And Barb, we want to let Jenren talk if she wants to, but there was a question that came through. Is the OEN data dashboard a part of membership?
Great question. That is indeed a part of membership.
Jenren, not to put you on the spot, but did you want to add anything?
I don't have anything to add there. I added a link in the chat in case it's helpful to folks who have an amazing amount of extra time for soliciting grants. And I realize that is, we shouldn't have to do that. And if you do have time to look for grants, one of our really wonderful bootcamp participants, well, actually a team of them put together a particular guide for folks in California. So I haven't seen the latest. I should actually open that link before sending it. But yeah, in case it's helpful, maybe that's a resource to keep.
And speaking of asking for grants, I would say if there's an overwhelming desire at your institution to opt for more of these programs than you can budget for right now, go back to Judith and see if there is perhaps more funding available through this ZTC grant. You never know what happens over the course of a multi-year grant project. So while those funds might not have been initially available, maybe something has changed. It doesn't hurt to ask. Folks can say yes, no, or they can renegotiate something with you.
Purva, I'm glad you said that. And don't forget that TAP offers a coaching program. We have contracted with some expert coaches across California and beyond to help assist in your application process. And they can help you maybe think through and strategize how you might be able to harness, at least for the term of the grant period, some of the funds in order to engage these amazing organizations. Well, we're just about out of time. And I really appreciate the 4 attendees who have kind of stayed till the bitter end here. Thank you so much. And oh my my goodness. Thank you, Jenren, Apurva, and Barb for this amazing information that you've provided and for the support that I know you will provide moving forward. Don't forget to check out the TAP website for more information, for a recording of this webinar, and for the slides. And I'd like to thank all of our attendees for joining us today and for the work that you are doing to support California Community College success. Couldn't do it without you. Thanks, everybody. Stay safe. Take care.